Greetings from London Heathrow Airport. Well, it's not in London, it's in a village called Sipson, but we'll allow that minor discretion. I'm on my way to India, to Delhi Airport, and I'm hoping to bring you, the viewers, something new. I'm hoping to bring you videos and vlogs from places which tourists have probably never even ventured in, and I'll showcase some of the delights that India has, the hidden delights, because by and large the tourists generally go to Jaipur, Delhi and Agra, maybe Bombay and Goa. So I'm hoping to bring you something different, something new. I'm at the airport, Heathrow Terminal 3, and I'm flying Vistara Airlines for the very first time, a venture owned by Tata, the Tata Group, and Singapore Airlines. If it's anything as good as Singapore Airlines, which I consider one of the best airlines in the world, this will be one experience to remember. I'm in Terminal 3, which, compared to the Chilterns, which was an area of outstanding natural beauty, this is a concrete monstrosity. So I've just arrived at Delhi Airport. It's actually quite hot here, and I'm dressed as if I'm ready for the Antarctic or the Arctic or the South Pole, the North Pole, and whatever pole there is. So it's quite hot here, so I'll get changed, maybe get changed in a bit, but the car's got AC, so there's no big deal. I'm going to be stopping off in a Dhaba in a little while. I'll show you what one of those is, because that's one of the things that India is known for. Today we'll be going into the state of, actually two states, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh actually, and I'll follow this journey all the way to our house in Uttar Pradesh itself. Hopefully I'll bring you that Dhaba. The journey itself on Vistara, nothing to write home about. It was a standard journey really. The menu was fine, the food was fine, the selection on the TV and the sort of TV programs and films that were on the show, there wasn't a great selection. I don't know if you can blame that on COVID. I don't think they can use that excuse. Food and drink maybe, but entertainment, I don't think you can blame it on COVID. So that was a bit of a letdown on Vistara. The flight itself was fine. There was nothing too outrageous about it. It was a standard flight really. But what I'm looking forward to is this trip, because like I said, I'm going to bring you some things that you won't find on YouTube, because the places that I'm going to haven't really been featured. The tourists by and large do not go to these places, because a lot of the tourists, not all of them, but a lot of them go to the main standard places. They do the Triangle and a few other places as well, but hopefully I'll show you a lot of places where there isn't, and I don't think there's enough footage on YouTube. There's the odd video here and there, but I'll try and bring you some of the hidden delights of India, and hopefully some of those things that don't really get featured. And it actually reminds me of, there was a program a few years ago, Paul Merton program. He went to India. Caroline Quentin did one as well, and he actually went in to try and find things that are not on the tourist trail, they're not on the tourist map, they're not in the guidebooks. So hopefully I'll show you some of those. But next stop I've got is a Dhaba, so that's where I'm going to eat, because the food wasn't all that, like I said, on the aeroplane. It was fine, nothing special. Not Michelin star, but then again, I don't expect Michelin star from an airline. But let's go to a Dhaba. I think onwards and upwards, I guess. Just stopped at a Dhaba, which is one of these roadside eateries famous in India. In fact, I know South Indians who love North India just for their Dhabas, the roadside eateries that they are dotted all around the highways. There are a number of them these days, right down from the cheapest establishments to ones that look like palaces. But the one that I'm here today is Moga Tourist Dhaba, and I've stopped here quite often actually, and it's one of the ones where the food is actually fantastic, the location is fantastic, parking is brilliant, the food is brilliant, the seating inside actually is brilliant, and it's been quite a warm day as well, and they've got air conditioning, and it's you can see actually, just look at the number of cars that are in here. Lots of cars here, lots of people here. They come to Dhaba. It's quite famous in this region. Moga Tourist Dhaba. Moga is actually in Punjab. Actually, it's a city in Punjab. So I think these guys probably are from Moga itself. But these Dhabas, yeah, they're quite good to visit when you're on a trip to India. I mean, if you've never been to India before, I'd suggest you visiting one of these. If you have been to India and you've not been in a Dhaba, I'm not sure why you came, because your trip, I'm not sure if it's really worthwhile until you visited one of these. Just seeing some clay artifacts here, mugs, plant pots, loads of different things. Is quite stylishly decorated. Just looking at some of these. Yeah. Soap dispensers. Plant pots, actually I see soap dispensers here. Plant pots as well. Yeah. New for a Dhaba. I've never seen this in a Dhaba before. Mainly the food here. But I think let's go inside and see what the food's like. Now I could come to India just for this. The food in a dhaba, I don't think you can beat. Dal makhani, mixed veg, tandoori roti. You cannot beat this. You cannot beat this taste, this flavour. Now often people in the UK ask me about Indian food in the UK, and often I have a thought of a dhaba in my mind, and it's quite loud here as well, so hopefully you can hear me. But I have a thought of a dhaba in my mind, and I point people to restaurants that have this type of taste. But I don't think you can beat this type of food. These roadside eateries. This is their speciality. Dal makhani, been on the pot overnight. There's not a restaurant anywhere in the world, I think, that can compete with a dhaba. It just can't be done. It's physically impossible. This taste you can't get. Michelin star restaurants can't compete with this. They cannot. You can see what's gone in to make this. The spices, the flavors that have gone in to make this dal makhani and this mixed veg. And there aren't restaurants. I haven't been to restaurants in the UK that have this type of food. This makes my trip worthwhile just for this. I can go back home now. Just imagine coming to India just for a dhaba. After an overnight flight, this was exactly what I needed. And you can see how busy this place is. There's so much noise here, so much activity. People here. This place is famous actually. This place is very famous. If I could replicate this back home, I would. Another delight from India, dhaba, tea in a clay pot. Oh, the taste of it just is different, you know, so compared to having this in a normal mug or a steel glass. This is so unique. And this has been the trend actually in India for the past few years. Serving tea in a clay mug. So I have with me Lakhaji, who's today driving me home, and we stopped at the dhaba. But I want to get an opinion of a local here. So I want to ask him what he thinks about these dhabas. So let's get his opinion. Hanji Lakhaji.
Hanji, ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ।
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਢਾਬੇ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਰੁਕੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਢਾਬਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਖਾਸੀਅਤ ਕੀ ਆ?
ਇਸ ਦੀ ਢਾਬੇ ਦੀ ਖਾਸੀਅਤ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਖਾਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਲਾਜਵਾਬ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਆ, ਟੇਸਟੀ, ਔਰ ਸਾਫ ਸਫਾਈ 'ਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਖਿਆਲ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਆ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੂਰਿਸਟ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਰੁਕਦਾ ਆ। ਅਗਰ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਤੋਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਦਿੱਲੀ ਤੋਂ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ, ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਰੁਕ ਕੇ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਔਰ ਦੂਜਾ ਜੀ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਲਾਜਵਾਬ ਆ ਖਾਣਾ ਇਹਦਾ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਦਾਲ ਤੜਕਾ, ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਰੋਟੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਬਾਕੀ ਕੁੱਲ ਮਿਲਾ ਕੇ ਜੀ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੀ ਹੈ।
ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਢਾਬੇ ਤਾਂ ਵੈਸੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਸ ਰੋਡ ਤੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਹਾਈਵੇ ਤੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਫਰਕ ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ?
ਫਰਕ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਜੀ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਆਪਣਾ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਫ਼ ਸਫਾਈ ਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਧਿਆਨ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੇਟਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਗਲਵਸ ਔਰ ਮਾਸਕ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਰਵੇ ਕਰੇਗਾ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਬਾਕੀ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਨਾਮ ਮੋਗਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਨ, ਟੋਟਲ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਰੁਕਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ। ਬਾਕੀ ਖਾਣੇ ਦਾ ਹੈ ਹੀ, ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ 1 ਨੰਬਰ ਤੇ ਆ ਜੀ।
Well, you heard there from the main man himself. He's a local here, and he visits these places quite often, and it's good to get opinion of a local. I'm not a local, although I've been there often. It's good to get the opinion of someone whose role it is really to drive for a living, and so they quite often frequent these places. But I don't think you could be at Dhaba. Yeah, it's one of those places to eat that most North Indians will be familiar with, and even if you're not a North Indian, most people are familiar with them. They just got that reputation, the taste, the flavour, the food is just unrivaled, and I think it's very tough to beat. I'll be honest, Michelin star Indian restaurants in the UK cannot compete. I've been to a number of Indian restaurants that classed, I'm not going to name any names, that class themselves as fine dining, but you can't beat the taste of a Dhaba. And if ever you're down the streets, the highways of North India, visit Dhaba, because that's where you're going to get the true flavour of India. Just driving on the highway and bloody hell, look what I've just found. Check this out. You won't believe this. Expecting a Volkswagen Beetle on the mean streets of India, but that's what I've just seen, that's what you've just seen, and that was an interesting sight. But I'm on my way home, and the next stop will be when I finally reach home, and my journey will be complete from London Heathrow to Delhi to all the way home. And looking forward to it actually, because I've had no sleep all night. So the Volkswagen Beetle just woke me up a little bit more. So let's carry on down the highway to home.